Star Wars Outlaws was supposed to be a monumental moment for both the Star Wars brand and Ubisoft. They claimed this was the first ever open-world Star Wars game that would have players running around playing a scoundrel like Han Solo. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't have any memory of Han Solo punching Stormtroopers directly in the helmet. If anyone did that, they'd shatter every bone in their hands. As the first round of numbers are coming in, it's starting to become crystal clear that the launch of Star Wars Outlaws has been a disaster. Hello, my friends, and welcome to The Pondering. I am the real-life fake wizard. If this video brings you any value at all, I invite you to subscribe to this channel, where we're posting new videos nearly every day. Let's start with the hard numbers. According to Chris Dring from GamesIndustry, Star Wars Outlaws physical copy sales in the United Kingdom were 55% lower than Star Wars Jedi Survivor in 2023, but comparatively sold 15% more than Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, again in the UK. Why does the Avatar piece matter? Because Avatar was another major franchise game made by Ubisoft, and that game was considered a complete flop. Only selling 15% more than Avatar, which bottomed out and didn't stand a chance in the 2023 holiday season, does not indicate positivity for Outlaws. Now, what do we not have? Because there's plenty of missing data that we do not have. 1. Digital sales. We don't know anything about digital sales, and we likely won't get digital sale numbers unless Ubisoft publish them in a quarterly shareholders report. 2. United States sales. We do not have definitive stats on physical or digital sales in the United States. But if we look at the PlayStation Digital Store, we can see Outlaws has already been kicked out of the top 5 in just 7 days, now sitting all the way at number 10 for top games in the United States. In fact, it never made it into the top 3, which was always fascinating to me. Here's a near $200 million Star Wars game touting that it's the first open world game in the series, and it couldn't break the top 3. That's insane. So if we don't have definitive numbers, how can we say that this launch was a failure? Good question. Firstly, what I just said about the top PlayStation games in the country, that's based on sales and downloads. So, Astrobot is beating Outlaws in sales and downloads on PlayStation. As it should, because Astrobot is a 10 out of 10 game, and I love every minute of it. It's a great game. We also have seen the overall sales expectations from analysts get dramatically reduced. Analysts had said they expected 8 million sales within the game's first quarter of being launched. Then, that was reduced down to 5 million units after early reactions and reviews came in. Now, analysts say they're hoping to move 5.5 million by the end of the year. So this is a big difference that I don't see nearly enough people saying or discussing. Choice of language is important, and I see too many commenters and YouTubers using the term quarter and year interchangeably, like they're the same in this case. The quarter and year are different. There are 2 more quarters for 2024. We are only in Q3 right now. The original expectations were for 8 million sales in Q3 with the launch of the game. Now they're saying it'll be 5.5 million by the end of Ubisoft's fiscal year, which ends March of 2025. That's a major lapse in sales activity. That's people packing up their desks and going home. You're fired levels of bad. Let's compare for a moment. Black Myth Wukong was released multi-platform and crossed 10 million sales in its first week. Now hang on, it would be disingenuous to just say that the monkey game won just because. No, the majority of that market are Chinese customers who bought the game in China because it was produced by a Chinese company. Also, the game is supposed to be very good, but specifically, it's a Chinese product for a Chinese market. And yet, Monkey with a Stick game is still sitting pretty at number 4 on the United States PlayStation Digital Store, nearly 4 weeks after it released. So it did sell well in America, too. Outlaws dropped to the 10th spot in 7 days. The monkey is holding strong for almost a month. What else indicates the game failed? The viewership is already fading. Let's use Twitch numbers as a key indicator. On the day of its early release, Outlaws peaked at nearly 118,000 views. Fast forward just a week, and that number dropped off a cliff with viewership down to 11,000 by September 2nd. Again, compare that to Black Myth Wukong, which is still maintaining tens of thousands of viewers right now today. So it's dropping out of the sales charts. People aren't interested in watching live streams of it. Analysts continue to reduce their sales predictions. And on top of that, you have the director of the game coming out and saying they made a boo-boo with how they designed some of the levels. The game features instant failure stealth missions that many players took to social media to rant about in the first days of launch. Now, the director is coming out and saying that they're needing to go back and retool certain early missions to make it fairer and so the players can have fun. This is an awful look. Like, yes, please make the game fun and fair, but at the same time, you sold the full game for over $100. Why wasn't the game complete then? Why didn't you make sure the game was fun before you shipped people a $100 lemon riddled with bugs and nonsense? In a time where Star Wars fans have already left the franchise, normies are not tuning in anymore or buying the product, and all that's left of the reliable market for you are weird Raylos and sexual degenerates that talk about their desires to bang on Twitter. Shouldn't you have put all that effort into making the game near perfect before charging so much money? Maybe try to appeal to the normies and original buying customers, perhaps. Those Raylo degenerates don't actually spend nearly enough money to clear 30% of your sales goals. It's like, look, a lot of content creators come on here and say that it's because of political or social ideology that video games, movies, and franchises are failing today. And that's not impossible. It's certainly a piece of the puzzle to discuss, but this puzzle has 100 pieces. I don't care about having a woman as the protagonist in a game. I care about why the game is a bug-ridden, ugly, unfun pile of shit that costs a fortune to buy in a time where people are nickel and diming to afford putting SpaghettiOs on the table for them and their kids. Like, what the fuck are you doing? I said in the last video I did, I'm pretty sure there are two problems here. One is a Star Wars problem, a brand problem. The brand is very damaged. Then two, an Ubisoft problem, where the products that they're making for hundreds of millions of dollars are just not good. This is not good work. And then you turn around and try to charge $130 for the complete edition of a single-player game, where $20 of that is a cosmetics pack. This has nothing to do with woke or not woke. Stellar Blade, Wukong, Baldur's Gate 3, and Hogwarts Legacy all made bank. Two of them are woke, two of them aren't. You know the difference between those four and Star Wars Outlaws? All four of them are damn good products that appeal to a wide audience despite their debatably ideological identities. Why is Star Wars suffering? Why is Ubisoft suffering? Because their budgets are overblown, their products are boring and expensive, and instead of taking a shred of responsibility for their shortcomings, they turn around and point the finger at you, the customer, and say it's your fault that their slop isn't selling well. You are a hate-filled monster for not bending the knee, kissing the ring, and buying a $130 game that features a girl who weighs 100 pounds punching stormtroopers in the helmet to knock them out. You know, I keep seeing this meme floating around from the usual suspects. You think it's cool to hate things. It's not. It's boring. Talk about what you love and keep quiet about what you don't. Shut up. Stop pointing out the flaws in what mega corporations are producing. Don't have an opinion. Do not have a standard of excellence you want to see for the properties that helped define who you are. We are the custodians now, the usurpers, and you are just a stupid customer who is not smart enough to stop buying from us. My friends, when the influencers, journalists, critics, and corporations are all speaking to you, listen to them. With every Acolyte, every Outlaws, every Marvels, every Dustborn, every Concord, the companies are speaking to you. But it's a one-sided conversation, and the best way for you to get a word in, the best way for you to say you're not listening anymore, is to continue to do what it seems you're already doing. Stop buying. Stop spending any money on their products. See, it's never truly about representation on screen. That doesn't actually matter to them. It's not about telling good stories or even making good products. It's about money and making as much money as they possibly can, and making more money than they cleared last week, last month, last year. And what used to be listening to a target market and bringing products and services that were desired by that market, would appreciate that and solve problems for that market, has become, you will take what you get. You will eat the bugs because you have no other choice. Or at least you think you have no other choice. There's always another choice. Speak with your wallet. Every video of mine ends with me saying, cancel Disney+. Well, this is why. The greatest move the populace can make against a corporate oligarchy is to stop buying. Even if it's just you, and even if you stand alone. It's better for you to stand by your own ideals than cave thinking you don't make a difference. You do. You are. You are making a difference. The failure of Star Wars Outlaws here is proof. So keep it up and hold them to the flame. My friends, I want to thank you for joining me for this Pondering special. If you liked the video, please hit that like button. If you're new here and want to see more videos like this, consider hitting the subscribe button. Until next time, create, innovate, inspire. May the Force be with you. And for the love of God, cancel Disney+. Thank you.